We smoking lot, we smoking gas. You wanna feed, the boy you get taxed.
Alright, this is how you mix vocals like Yeat. I started listening to Yeat a couple months ago, and actually I didn't like it at first, but it grew on me really fast. So Yeat's mixing is pretty dry for his main layer, but he also has background layers, which he does to support his main vocals. So for this mix, I have two layers. I have the main layer for the main vocals, and a background layer for the ad-libs and kind of like background melodies that he does in his songs. Alright, to start off, I have an EQ where I cut off some of the low mid frequencies, which I like to do before I apply a limiter and compressor, so it boosts the right frequencies. After that, I have a limiter. This one is pretty simple. It basically has a noise gate, so it cuts out background noise, and it makes sure your vocals are loud enough, but not too loud. And I apply this before compression, so it sounds really crisp and nice. After that, as expected, I have a compressor. This one's pretty simple too. I like this because it's very fast, it's very punchy compression. It just makes your vocals sound super nice, and Yeat tends to have this style of compression in a lot of his songs. Alright, next up I have Auto-Tune Artist. Yeat has a lot of auto-tune on his vocals, so for this one the retune speed is at 0, the flex tune is at 0, and the humanize is at 0, so there's essentially as much auto-tune as possible. After that, I have another EQ. This cuts off all the low end frequencies that sometimes show up when you do vocals, and it also cuts out some of the mid frequencies which sometimes get too loud after compression. After that, I'm using Fresh Air. It's a free VST. It's probably one of my favorite saturizers for vocals. On this one, I have the mid set to 50, and I have the high also set to 50. And what this does is it makes the high ends of the vocals really bright, and it just sounds super good in general. After that, I have a De-Esser. I'm using Maximus because it's easy and gets the job done. Because after you boost the highs in your vocals, you don't want it to sound like too weird with the S's, or like when you know when you go like tss, if you boosted your vocals too much on the high ends, it'll sound pretty unpleasant to listen to. So adding a De-Esser can really make sure that it sounds properly leveled and mixed. After that, I have another EQ. This one also cuts off the low ends and cuts out some of the mid and low mid frequencies, which once again get quite loud. After that, I added a flanges. This kind of adds like a chorus effect, although it's not actually fruity chorus. It does add sort of a chorus effect if you turn it down low enough. And you can see I kind of have it a little bit less than halfway turned up in the mixer. And I just like this because it's kind of like a stereo effect, but not really. And it's always just makes your vocals sound pretty cool. And after that, I just added a delay 3, turned up the same amount as the flanges. Listening to Yeat's music, it seems like he uses a ping pong delay in a lot of his songs, so that's what I went for.
Glass, one on the far, all up a size.
For the vocal structure, I have two layers. I have the main mix, and I have the background mix. So for the main mix, it sort of sounds like this. I punched in bar after bar.
The more 20 my slide, Twizzle gon' run up on you with a stride. 5 see y'all can't with a Mac.
So you can hear the delay, the auto-tune, it's really apparent, and it just sounds super punchy and nice, just like how Yeat does it. And for the background layer, I'm sort of doing a melody thing. I say that because it's kind of like singing, but I can't actually sing. But thankfully, the background mix saves me, so with effects, it sounds like this. Keep in mind, I cannot actually sing, but the mix makes it sound super nice when you layer it behind the main vocals. So once you layered your vocals and tweaked everything all together, it should sound like this.
Twizzle gon' run up on you with a stride. 5 see y'all can't with a Mac. All of my gear, they poppin' the tags. We smoking lot, we smoking gas. You wanna feed, the boy you get taxed. No perky yaki, all in my glass. One on the fire, all up a size. Gotta cover that lean. I keep a heaty out, I keep a beam. I got your bitch, all on the knees. Off of the X, I'm in the screen. Off of the X, off of a tie. Fucking a friend like, sorry about that. Show me the post, what I can. Solo bro, you going outside.